What's up everybody, Kyle Barboza here, and this is the first video in a kind of new video format that I'm going to be using as a perk to my YouTube channel members as a way to, you know, show some appreciation to the people who are supporting my channel in that way. So thank you to those of you who are doing that. But this first one's going to be available to everybody, so you can kind of see, you know, you can kind of see one of these perks in action. So, all right, here we go. So we're going to be talking today, we're going to do a short lesson on constructing a groove that's funky, okay? And this is something that's been done and done and done again in certain videos, but I think I've got a few pointers that maybe you haven't thought about and that maybe will, you know, that will really give you some new ideas when you're writing bass lines. And when I'm talking about a funky groove, I'm talking about not just the genre of funk, but any groove that involves playing really over a minor chord or a dominant 7 chord. I mean, we're talking Southern rock, classic rock, Motown, R&B, hip-hop, you name it. There are so many grooves within these genres that this stuff will work over. And today we're going to talk about just the first layer of constructing one of those grooves. And I call this layer the meat. And I call it the meat because with these 5 notes, you can basically make a whole meal out of it. You can make your whole bass line just based on these 5 notes, and it will sound good. So without further ado, let's go. We're talking about the root and its octave, the 5th, the flat 7, and its octave. Okay? So these 5 notes. See that shape? But here's the real crux of the lesson here. I want you to consider 2 things about this layer of funk, okay? I want you to consider balancing closed sounds and open sounds. Here's what I mean by that. Your root and octave, those are your closed sounds because they sound settled. The thing about it though is that it doesn't have any movement to it. It's closed off. That's why you need your open sounds as well. Okay, and your open sounds are your other notes, your 5th and your flat 7. Okay, but those sounds by themselves don't settle at all. You can't just build the bass line out of those sounds, so you gotta balance the 2, and that's where your bass line comes in, okay? Check it out when I balance those 2 sounds. Open, closed, open, and then it's balanced. Okay? And you can get a good groove out of that. So really, really concentrate on considering that. Just use your ear, okay? All right. Okay, the second thing that I want you to consider when we're talking about bringing the meat. Whatever. Listen, you can't cook the meat 2 different ways. What do I mean by that? You gotta keep the groove consistent. You can't mix 2 different grooves. And I was a huge violator of this rule years back. All right, I'd be playing a bass line, I'd be in the pocket, and I changed the groove. That doesn't work. That just doesn't feel good, okay? You gotta be consistent with your groove. So the way you do that is by kind of staying within, now I'm going to give you a couple rules here. Rules are meant to be broken within reason, but if you stick to these rules for the most part with your bass lines, things that you'll be smooth sailing. Play an idea. That's my idea. That's the first idea. That's my first phrase. Then play a phrase that starts like that but ends different. Okay, so this phrase started closed with my root and ended open, right? Well, next phrase, I'm gonna do the same thing but close it off. Okay, that right there is already good. At the most, you want to kind of have an A-B-A-C pattern. This is like at the most variation you want, for the most part, okay? That's when you play an idea, we'll call it A. You play a different idea, we call it B. You go back to the first idea, A, and then you finish with a different idea. So here it is. A, B, A, C, right? That's consistent, and it's got some variation. And at the most, you can play a fill every few phrases, all right? That will keep you in the pocket. It will support the rest of the band. So, there you go. Those are the two ideas for building a funk groove on this first basic layer. And this works in so many styles, and already we got a nice sounding groove, and we haven't even gone into the other layers. There's 4 more layers to this. 4 more. So next week, those 4 layers, that's coming out for the channel members. So I hope you enjoyed this one. Talk to you guys next week, and take care, everybody.